The game started with London system, and black played knight f6 and g6. So this is also very close to Indian game because black moved the bishop to g7 at a very early stage. So which means it will be hard for us to attack on the king side. And bishop g7, e3, castle, bishop d3. So white develop pieces as we usually do. d5, knight b2, knight c6. Yeah, this is a very common mistake black always usually make in this position. I see a lot of times when people play like queen's pawn opening as black, they move the knight to c6 too early because the problem is it blocked the c pawn. And after knight c6, black is not able to push the c pawn, so which means we can actually start to control the c file or the queen side. Queen c2. I'm also thinking maybe rook c1 and later c4 to yeah, aim at this c7 pawn. Bishop g4, h3, e6. Okay, so after h3 you push the pawn to h4. So I think we still want to attack on the king side, but I'm thinking like b4, b5, and c4, because if we look at the bishop, our bishop and the rook could attack on the queen side. This is something we can also consider. And I think if we look at the king side, the pawn structure is very solid. So maybe we can choose a3, like c4. Yeah, so I would prefer attack on the queen side instead. h4, h5, long castle, knight exchange, because the g4 knight is a good knight. Okay, e5. So black is going to attack our center. I think in this position, I think white is slightly better because we have pair bishop and black is going to open up the center. And since the pawn to h5, can we push the pawn to g4? And if e4, we can move bishop to e2 and forcing a trade because once we can open up the g file, we can attack the king. If black take our pawn, and we can probably push h5. And if that takes again, so can we check the king? And the king goes to ha probably. So we can play bishop g3. If e4, we can take the h5 pawn. And I don't think there's any way to protect h5 pawn. h4, we can still take that. So we can attack the black king. So basically, we can use this way to open up the g file and h file, sacrificing pawns to open up the files. We move rook to e1. To be honest, I don't see the purpose of rook e1. Maybe we anticipating black is going to open up the e file. Okay, but it is a bit like passive because we have to wait until black open up the file. But what if black push e4? So yeah, if we can find out this approach, this is better than move the rook to the e file. Rook e7, rook e6. Okay, I think black is like preparing for open up the e file. This is very smart. Once we are ready, we can open up the files. Yeah, and then we move bishop to g1. I don't quite understand of this move, to be honest. Queen e7, f3. Okay, maybe you want to support a d4. I think we choose plan that is I don't know. Even we push the pawn to e4, the d4 is still like under like attack of 3 pieces, and the problem is I think black is quite clear of its purpose. move the rook and the queen to the e file, and we play f3, and especially the bishop at g1. The rook is a problem. If black take the pawn, we'll lose the pawn. We could take d4, yeah. We'll lose the d4 pawn. We cannot take the pawn. And also c5 will be opened up. Our king will be danger. So these two moves, I think the problem with these two moves is, first of all, I don't quite understand the purpose of this move, these two moves. And another reason is I think we missed the plan of our opponent. So that's the reason we lost the pawn. And our opponent did really well, winning the pawn. e4. Yeah, adding another piece. Bishop f2, so we connect the rooks. That's good. But I think black is way better. So what about queen to f6? Because the queen, the bishop, and black can, for example, play knight f3 and later take the b2 pawn. So there is a lot of threat, and also rook to c6. Yeah, I think we are in trouble. f5. But this move lost the pawn, right? We take d5. Can we just take e5? I prefer taking e5 because we can open up the king side of our opponent, right? Because we want to attack the black king. Take the d5 pawn, c5. Okay. So since the e6 rook is exchanged, so I think the problem on the c file is not as serious as previous position, because as I show, in this position, if black didn't play f5, queen f6, rook c5, or rook c6 or rook b6, so we'll have big trouble on the queen side. But right now, since the e6 rook is trade, we don't need to worry about the rooks anymore, so that's good for us. And the knight is pinned, but black can take the d5 pawn, and black can have extra pawn, but black blunder the queen. That's a problem. Okay, so okay, we want a bishop. Okay, knight d6, but yeah, I mean, winning a knight is also a move we can consider. Winning g6. Yeah, why don't we take g6? Yeah, but I don't think we need to further analysis further of this position. I think we have like a huge advantage in material. I feel like the learning of this game is before push the pawn on h4. I think we can still consider like queen side attack. And another thing is rook e1. If we can figure out like g4 h5, that's even better. We can open up the king side. This is what we want to attack, right? The king side. And I think the problem we need to like review is these two moves, bishop to g1 and f3. So first of all, I don't see the purpose of that, and also this move make us lost the pawn. Basically, I don't think we understand the plan of our opponent. They move rook to e6, queen to e7, and adding a lot of pressure on e file. But we move bishop to g1 to block the rooks. Yeah, but we did good to win the queen. Yeah, when our opponent make a mistake, we capture it. And that's it.